management and chronic disease prevention. Dr. Childress is a CEO and co-founder of 3 Culinary Med Docs, the digital health company behind SAM, a culinary medicine platform that provides personalized meal plans and practical nutrition tools. She has authored numerous peer-reviewed publications, secured significant grant fundings, and has been featured in major media outlets including Forbes, WebMD, Women's Health, Shape Prevention, Fox News, and MSN. She is also a co-author of the Ultimate New Mom's Cookbook. A key focus of Dr. Childress' career is outreach and engagement. She has led high-impact community programs and international initiatives in Spain, Germany, and South Africa, connecting students to global nutrition and service learning. Her work has earned statewide and national recognition, including selection as an Inc. Female Founders and 500 honoree, and multiple awards from Texas Tech and the Texas Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. She also serves at the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation Dietitians Advisory Board. Through her leadership, innovative and dedication to community impact, Dr. Childress continues to elevate the field of nutrition and expand access to practical, evidence-based health strategies. Please welcome Dr. Allison Childress to the stage.
Well, hello, good morning. Thank you, truly, for this honor. I'm so grateful to Tascosa High School and for Tascosa High School. I'm grateful for the educators here and the counselors here who quietly open doors for so many students and who shape lives in ways that we never ever fully see. Also, thank you to my family who are here and who supported me long before there was anything to celebrate. And to you guys, the students, you're welcome. I mean, I guess I got you out of a few minutes of class, right? So that's worth something, maybe? So, thank you, and you're welcome. So standing here is surreal, and not because of the honor itself, which is amazing, but because if you went back to my graduation in my senior year, over 30 years ago, no one, including me, would have ever predicted this right here. High school has invisible hierarchies. I think you know what I mean by this. There are the athletes, the performers, the popular kids, the artists, the ones who seem to shine without any effort. And sometimes high school can convince you that success has a very narrow look. Real life doesn't. I didn't fit any of these visible categories when I was here. I was poor, I was unpopular, I was painfully uncoordinated. I couldn't play a sport to save my life. I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance, I couldn't play an instrument, I couldn't draw, I couldn't paint. I wasn't pretty, and most days I ate lunch alone. There wasn't much about me, really anything, that stood out in the ways that were traditionally rewarded, but I was smart. Not valedictorian smart, not full ride scholarship smart. Yes, I made good grades, but not the kind that win those big awards and scholarships. But I was just smart enough to realize that I needed to be intentional about using what I did have. And at some point, I also realized something really important. I didn't suddenly need to become coordinated or confident or rich or impressive. What I needed to stop doing was chasing what was rewarded right then and start paying attention to what was really going to matter later. So the question became, it wasn't how do I fit in, it was how do I build something that lasts? But not fitting in gave me some freedom. I didn't have a reputation to protect or an image to maintain, so I was able to grow without an audience. And it turns out that was pretty powerful. The things that really change your life often look pretty unimpressive when you're 17 years old. And for me, one of those unimpressive things was being an aide in the counselor's office here at Tascosa High School my junior year. It wasn't glamorous, nobody applauded it, but it gave me access. I learned how college worked. I learned how to fill out applications and financial aid paperwork. And keep in mind, this was the 90s, right? Everything was on paper. There were no online portals, there were no YouTube tutorials, there were no videos with step-by-step directions. If you didn't know how that system worked, it was very easy to be locked out of it. And I'm a first-generation college student. No one at home could explain that process to me, but someone at this school trusted me with proximity to information. And I learned how to navigate a world that wasn't necessarily built with me in mind. Tascosa High School didn't make me special. Tascosa High School gave me tools. And I quickly learned that if I was going to use those tools, I needed to be intentional. I needed to focus on what was in my control, what would keep paying off long after high school finished, and what no one could ever take away from me. And for me, that was education. So my senior year in high school, I worked the entire year at Chinese Kitchen frying egg rolls so that I could pay for my first year of college. And when tuition was due for my first semester, I wrote a check out of my very own checking account for $832. And I remember that number very clearly, even to this day, because I wasn't just paying tuition, I was securing my future. I didn't want anything to stand in my way of education, because based on my skills, for me, education was the best chance out of poverty, out of an abusive home life, and into a different narrative. Education wasn't a dream for me, it was my life plan. It was how I was gonna change that narrative. So I finished high school and I went to college at Texas Tech, and I thought that part meant I had it figured out. And for a while, it looked like everything had worked exactly the way it was supposed to. I had the life I thought I was aiming for, a wonderful partner, 2 beautiful girls, a big brand new house, living in a big city, traveling the world, hanging out with successful and famous people. I had made it. But then, as it always does, it all fell apart. And so after my divorce, I found myself right back where I started, having to rebuild from the ground up. So I packed what would fit into my minivan, my 2 girls, my 2 dogs, my Nana, and the essentials, and I left. But this time, I wasn't starting from scratch. I had tools, the same ones I learned here. When everything else disappeared, I went back to the one thing that had never failed me. I went back to school. I went back to learning. And over time, I earned my master's degree and then my PhD, and once again, education was how I changed the narrative. Education was the tool that changed my narrative, but it doesn't have to be yours. For some of you, it might be a skill, or a trade, or the military, entrepreneurship, or service, or art, or just learning to show up consistently for something that matters to you. And the point isn't what you choose. The point is choosing something that builds, that lasts, and that no one can take away from you. So here's the part I want you to hear if you're sitting out there thinking you're invisible or average, or maybe even a little bit behind. I didn't peak early. I wasn't obvious. I wasn't chosen. I wasn't special. I just kept focusing on what kept adding up. I protected what mattered. I protected what was going to carry me forward. So I invested in the one thing that traveled with me wherever I went, my ability to think and to learn and to adapt. High school is excellent at measuring what's loud and what's visible. Life is far more interested in what is durable. So, in a few months, when you graduate, if you leave this place feeling unsure, if your strengths don't feel flashy or celebrated right now, that doesn't mean they're weak. It might just mean they're early. So remember, high school is not where you prove who you are. High school is where you collect the tools that you'll compound later. So if your strengths feel quiet now, that's okay. Protect them, because they get very loud with time. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Childress and Mr. Lyman. It's been a pleasure to welcome you back on campus and to celebrate you both. Family and friends of our 2 inductees and THS staff, please join us after in the library for a reception in honor of our Hall of Fame inductees. Now, if you will please rise as the Tascosa Freedom Singers lead us in our school song.